Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're giving you the second half of our Week 7 Fantasy Football Starts and Sits and our 100th episode. We're here to help you make all the right decisions on who you should start, who you should sit, and who's going to break your heart if you don't sit them. Let's start this Fantasy Football podcast right meow.
Hit that drop. Hello and welcome. I am Justin, that is Kyle, and this is the Fantasy Football Upside. Thank you very much for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. We appreciate it. And today we're giving you the second half of our start-sit questions for Sunday and Monday games. So check out our most recent episode where we gave you our first half of our start-sit questions for this week. And guess what, everybody? This is our 100th episode. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Kyle, we almost have as many episodes as we have subscribers.
So whenever we pass the number of episodes from subscribers, what does that mean? Is that YouTube?
I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens. Yeah, I don't know what happens. I think maybe we get unplugged from the Matrix. Is that what happens? Like we wake up from the simulation.
Which pill is it? Which pill should we have taken?
It's the red pill. The red pill is the one that wakes you up.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I'll know that moving forward. Yeah. What you got for me?
All right, guys. So to that end, let's get some more subscribers, guys. So share us, like us, leave comments, share us, do all that stuff. We're moving on here to Week 7. And so remember, as always, check your waiver wire, see who's been dropped. Maybe there's somebody worth grabbing. But we're always here to answer your start-sit questions. Maybe you're comparing guys, that we're talking about today or yesterday and today, and you don't know which one to put in your lineup because we've said start both, and you only got one spot, right? So make sure you throw a comment down below asking that question. We try to get to those questions before Sunday's games start every week so that you're helped out. We're always asking the question. Do you need assistance? And so we're willing to help you out, guys. Let's dive in headfirst into the shallow end, and let's get started here with the Detroit at Atlanta game. I'll take Detroit off the top here. For me, Matt Stafford's a start. I think that it's undeniable. This is almost like the pick your survivors. All of your survivors that you pick are always who's playing the Jets. That's who you pick. Well, who's the QB? He's playing against Atlanta. Yeah, fire him up. The Atlanta can't stop anything. I don't think they're trying to. So Adrian Peterson's a flex start. DeAndre Swift is a start. A start. Kenny Golladay is a start. Marvin Jones is a don't start until he proves that he's just not done.
I don't know if we are going to see
I don't know. I mean, dude's been around for a while. He has been around for a while.
He's 30. Yeah.
All right. And then TJ Hawkinson, he could be the second leading target in this passing game. And I mean, they're not trying to throw it 5,000 times this year, but
Mr. 5,000.
Yeah, Mr. 5,000. But they are trying to throw it still. And Hawkinson could be the number 2 target in this offense, just like kind of like the way the Packers have been. So
yeah, absolutely. All righty. So for the Falcons, Matt Ryan, as long as Julio Jones is back fully healthy, you're going to start Matt Ryan. That's all there is to it. If that's it, that's it. Todd Gurley, he could see a lot of touches versus the struggling Detroit Lions defense. Just mentioned Julio Jones. Yes, welcome back. Hey, nice to see you again. Missed you. But Calvin Ridley, even if Julio's back, you're going to start him, and you're still going to get wide receiver 1 value out of this guy. It's insane. This offense can carry 2 wide receiver 1s. They're just going to throw it. Hayden Hurst, not a ton of volume, but not surprisingly plays more efficient when Julio is on the field. So you can start him against this defense. And I like it whenever Julio is playing. Hayden Hurst is valuable because he just, the attention gets away from Hayden Hurst. So he's just right there up the seam, man. So up next we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. Kyle, why don't you go ahead and hit me with the Seahawks, man?
Yeah, our friend Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson, he's definitely a start guy. He's got a good matchup, but Arizona has been better this year than they've been in recent years against good competition. So it's not a done deal that he's going to blow up for you, but I think you can rely on him providing QB1 numbers. Chris Carson's a start. This dude's been a beast this year, just an absolute beast.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, if I remember, I don't have the note in here. If I remember, the last few weeks haven't been the greatest. Tyler Lockett, this is a tough matchup, and I'm going to actually say sit him. I wanted to note that he's been struggling lately to produce. He's been outside of the conversation as far as wide receiver 3 even. So I think that right now DK Metcalf is just dominating not only opposing defenses, but that wide receiver room. And as a result, fire him up. He hasn't finished lower than a wide receiver 2 this season. This is a tough matchup for him, but he's been getting it done no matter what. So go ahead and fire him up. DK Metcalf is the second coming of Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's what they've said.
That's what do you got on Arizona? What do you got on Arizona?
On Arizona, Kyler Murray. He was very valuable last week, even though he completed only 9 passes last week, Kyle. So that's insane. I mean, it's just the fact that he has such a great rushing floor. I think there's going to be some more completions. Kenyon Drake, hello, welcome back. 2019 Arizona Cardinals, Kenyon Drake, finally. Only took until week 6. So start him up. Let's hope you can continue that. DeAndre Hopkins, duh. Start him against this defense, duh.
Yep.
But Christian Kirk, maybe in the flex, he had 2 touchdowns last week on 3 targets and 2 catches.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard to maintain that.
I've seen it suggested to start him. I have seen that.
Yeah.
That sentiment is out there right now. I think it's a flex start in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a desperation kind of flex start until you prove more in the 3 targets. Granted, I guess, only completed 9 passes by Kyler Murray.
It makes it a little hard. Yeah,
it does. All right. Up next, we have the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots. Did I hear a Niner in there?
Did I hear a Niner in there? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go with the Patriots, or I'm sorry, with the 49ers here. And let's see here. I've got a whole lot of nada. Really not a whole lot here, guys. Jerick McKinnon is a flex only start. Jermichael Hasty is not necessarily worthy of a start, but you should keep an eye on him, in my opinion. And let's see here. Deebo Samuel, you can start him as a wide receiver 3 only. Don't expect a ton out of him. Deebo, right? Deebo. Yeah. All right. So then Brandon Ayuk is a flex only, and I think that's a really, really that's kind of a far out there one. And then our friend George Kittle. He's definitely a start your stud kind of player, right? He's just a guy you got to start. So, that's what I've got. All right. So here, let's move on to the, what is that? New England Patriots. So let's see what you got on them. Who's your starts and who your sits?
All righty. For New England, this is going to be really quick. James White is a decent flex in PPR, but he missed Thursday's practice for undisclosed reasons. So, I mean, White lost his father a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if anything is related to that. I don't want to get into that because that's just not what we do. But legit, that is the only person I really think is a startable player on this team against this defense.
If he misses, what do you think of Damian Harris?
If he misses, I would like Damian Harris, as an early down back. But you know what's going to happen if he misses? Bill Belichick's going to get cute with it, and Rex Burkhead's going to get 15, 20 touches. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you just don't freaking know.
Yeah.
You really
don't.
don't.
And he'll giggle to himself too the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. What we got next?
Right.
We got the Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Let's go with the Chiefs for you, Kyle.
All right. So Pat Mahomes is a start. This is a good matchup. Could be that get right game that Casey's kind of been looking for the whole year. I don't think that they've been firing on all cylinders so far this year. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, look, he's an RB2 this week with upside. Even with Bell on the roster, I think that he's still got a chance here to do well. Okay. Let's see. Tyreek Hill, last week was his first week outside of wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 territory. So this is that get right game. This is what they want. He's been dominant this year. Speaking of dominant, Travis Kelce, start your studs. All right. Tight end.
That's another one. You're really going out on a limb on that one.
Yeah. Way out there. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to go so far out on a limb.
Write that down.
start Travis Kelce. Write it down. I'm going to say it. I'm going to put that one in. I'm going to write that one down.
Put that one out there in the
carve it in
Twitterverse.
stone. Carve it in stone. Yeah.
Alrighty. So for the Broncos, I'm actually going to from the bottom up here. Noah Fant is he's upgraded to full participant in Thursday's practice. So hey, you know what? With the way the tight end is out there, let's go ahead and start Noah Fant up. And then fantasy darling Tim Patrick.
Yeah,
I think he's the number one wide receiver in this offense.
How many weeks straight did we say pick up Tim Patrick?
I think you literally just copied and pasted whenever we did our waiver wires, so you had a lot of work to do on that one. Just copy and paste, and paste. Oh, he was 11% last week rostered. Oh, he's only 18%. What are people doing?
Yeah.
If he's out there, hey, pick him up, everybody. Now, when
even if Hamler comes back.
Yeah, that's the thing is I have a little note here. Hamler is, may come back this week. I just, even with that, I don't trust it. Even Jerry Jeudy out there, I just, with the return of Fant, I don't think Jeudy is above Fant when it comes to the targets.
Judy's not been good.
What happens whenever you draft a wide receiver in the first round, Kyle? What happens?
You
get better value out of the tight end or the wide receivers in the second round. It always happens every year. I do want to make a quick note of the running back room. I just don't quite know what is going to shape out. There's a lot of zero noise. Like there's not a whole lot coming out about Melvin Gordon, missing last week with a strep throat. I know, like, is he suspended by the NFL for the little Dewey action? We don't know.
Yeah.
So if he is out, start Phillip Lindsay, RB2 or flex. But other than that, it's just hard to trust both of them if they're both active. I just maybe in the flex.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on here. We got Tampa Bay versus Las Vegas. Tom Brady is a start. He's likely back end QB1, top end, high end QB2. So it is a bit of a risky play. I would prefer to have him as my second QB in a 2 QB or super flex league. I think you're taking a bit of a risk if you're starting him in a regular single QB league. So hopefully you've got a little bit of a better option there. Maybe not, depending on draft capital that he took in your league.
Right.
Ronald Jones is a start. Fire him up. This is going to be a good week for him. This is a good matchup. This is a successful running game that they want to have out there all the time because they want to dominate the control of the game with the running game and their defense. That defense is shaping up nicely. I know it's Bruce Arians, and everybody talks about how Bruce Arians just loves to have the ball thrown down the field. But the truth is that he will let the running back control the game if he can. He may not let the running back run the score in, but he's wanting to keep control of the game. Mike Evans, you're hoping for another dunk here. And you're hoping for some real yardage, actually, finally. 2 yards, 2 catches, 2 TDs, the old deuces. I think that was in week 2 as well. So old deuces. Maybe that's it.
Speaking of that, I gotta go.
Mike Evans, Mike the Deuces Evans, or just Deuces. Mike Deuces Evans.
Yeah, that's gonna catch on.
I'm sorry,
Kyle.
but it's got to catch on. The dude had 2 yards, 2 catches, 2 TDs in week 2.
Week 2.
I mean, nothing screams nickname like that. Deuces. All right. Godwin's a start, obviously. Gronkowski is actually a start. He's surprisingly reemerging as a weapon in this offense. I think something maybe has to do with the fact that they were playing Green Bay, who absolutely blew it, right? So maybe that might be what it looks like, and maybe Gronkowski's just,
well, OJ Howard is out for the year, so that was another thing, but resting.
All right, so what do you got here on Las Vegas?
Las Vegas is Josh Jacobs. You're going to start him. He was actually my fade of the week. Definitely check out that episode down below in the description. You're still going to start him, but just don't expect those running back 1 numbers. You're probably going to get more of a running back 2 numbers.
Which is exactly what you want coming off of a bye week, right? Because I think he was out on bye last week. And so what you want is to have your stud come back and then, put up RB2.
You got to fade it. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But Darren Waller, tight end, he is a start. He's getting the targets, but the production just hasn't been there based off the targets, especially based off of last year. So I'm just hoping the yards and touchdowns are going to follow all those targets he's getting.
I mean, you say based on last year, but he didn't break out last year until like week 8. And he was trash before then. And it was the same situation as this is.
Getting targets.
So he was getting a ton of targets. He wasn't getting much production out of it. I just kind of feel like it's a little bit of the system. And and you can't rely on him to have that breakout at this point, especially with the rest of that passing game so banged up, so ineffective. It's a tough call. I think you got to fire him up. You spent a 4th round, 5th round pick on him. Maybe you got him in the 6th if you're lucky. So he's probably the 4th wide receiver or tight end off the board for you. You got to kind of fire him up probably, but
you got to fire him up. Then, who else are you going to start him? That's a top 12 tight end.
That's the thing is there's nothing on the wire to pick up. So you have to start him. You just have to, and you have to hope that he finds it.
Nothing in the wide receivers, man. There's nothing I can trust there.
No,
nothing I can trust. All right. So I think this is the last one for this week, and we have the Bears versus the LA Rams. Your favorite team in the whole wide world, Bears. Go for it, Kyle.
Chicago Bears. I was up there in Mundelein the other day, and and I saw Ditka, and I said, "Hey, Ditka, what happened to Roundhouse, eh?" Yeah, I got a little bit Canadian there at the end. It's all right. A little bit Canadian.
I mean, they're close enough.
But I could have gone Cudahy Dutch, and going with that. Cudahy, spelled Cudahy. Cudahy. Yes, I lived in Milwaukee for a little while. All right, so we've got David Montgomery. He's a start. And our friend Alan the Proof Robinson has been good, but not outstanding. Which is kind of a tough pill to swallow here, actually. This is not a great matchup this week, but he is the proof that it does not matter who's throwing the ball, who's defending him. Good wide receivers rise above and they perform. And that's Allen Robinson. He rises above. That's why he's the proof. And then Jimmy Graham. Yeah. Jimmy Graham is a back-end tight end 1, but high-end tight end 2. That's about the best you can hope for out of him. I don't think he's going to have another 2 touchdown week in his career. Honestly, they paid that $40 million, and I think they got all 4 touchdowns. So, yep,
that's pretty good. All I got there. Him. I mean, that's some pretty good numbers per touchdown for him.
Well, it is Jimmy Market Center Graham.
It is. Alrighty, for the Rams, it's gonna be a tough week, I think, for the Rams. Darrell Henderson. I would definitely be a start if he wasn't out of practice on Thursday. Yeah, so it's like keep an eye on Friday's practice. If he practices and he's active, okay, in a flex. But here comes Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. I'm looking at wide receiver 3 at best.
Yep.
You're still going to start them because at any one point they're going to take off. But, once again, you're not looking for wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 numbers. If you have to put them in those slots, you're going to have a tough week this week for fantasy.
Yeah. So I had Robert Woods as a fade this week, I believe, if I remember.
Yes, you
correctly. I just don't like this defensive matchup for them.
And they're both coming off some really lackluster weeks last week when it comes to yards.
I don't think it's
like
I don't think it's
touchdown, but that's the only thing that saved him.
Yeah, I don't think it's them. I think it's him, Goff. I think it's him. I think he's the problem, and I think they probably know that he's the problem out there.
The blonde bomber is just not doing it.
No,
I'm making up nicknames too. I want to do it too. Blonde bomber. I don't know where the hell that came from.
I don't know either. Yeah, I don't know about that one. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for the matchups this week. That is also it for week 7. However, if you've got start sit questions, make sure you put them in the comments down below because we are always asking, and we're here to provide it, guys. Also, hit that subscribe button. Click that bell so you're notified every time we upload this podcast. And we thank you for being a fan of The Upside. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for making it to 100 with us, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Write that down.